Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to GCC's Georgia Chiro Connection. I'm your host, Dr. Kathy, and we are ramping up for our convention. So I'm so excited to have one of our convention speakers joining us today from California, Dr. Scott Beavers. Hey, Dr. Scott.
Hi, Dr. Kathy. How are you today?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited about coming out to Georgia in the next few days and spend some time with the GCC.
I'm excited to have you, and I'm really excited to be in your session. So I'm going to jump right in because you are going to be talking about post-concussive syndrome on Saturday afternoon. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about concussion and chiropractic care, and we're really going to be focusing on probably that time frame of the first 30 days following an injury, which is where a lot of chiropractors encounter patients with concussion.
So I'm assuming that you're going to teach us not only how to detect it, but how to work with these patients and what to be prepared for in the long run.
Absolutely. And I think really one of the exciting things about this area is that many DCs already have these skills. These are things in our knowledge base, in our area of expertise that we've either been trained in or exposed to, and they're just not packaged in a way that we can show them to patients, help people make a recovery, and really create what I term are some chiropractic miracles.
So let's jump into some of those. Tell us about some of the stories you've gotten to experience in your office.
Oh, well, I think it's just interesting what you see when you know what to look for. Last night, I had a patient come in and she said, well, 6 months ago, I was in this accident and, I'd hurt my neck and my back. And, in the course of the discussion, she starts saying, well, gosh, my digestion's horrible. My focus is off. I have brain fog. I'm having trouble at work. I've tried 2 new pairs of glasses. I have headaches and I have migraines. I'm developing anxiety. I've started therapy because I can't get along with my husband. And, the more we delved into this there was really this defining moment when that started for her. And it was the date of the accident in July. And it just radically changed her life over these last 6 months.
I'm glad that you bring that up because, I actually became a chiropractor because I was in a very bad car accident. I actually got hit by a tractor trailer. And one of the things that I experience and I try to share with students when I talk to them is that it's not the physical that you see. It's not the broken bone. It's not the surgical repair that you see. It's the damage that occurs that a lot of people don't attribute to the accident. It's the loss in, brain function. It's the brain fog. It's the inability to digest food. It's the nausea that persists for months or years after an accident. There are so many things that go along with it that are related to trauma to the nervous system that in the past, people weren't connecting the dots, or I should say, a lot of providers weren't connecting the dots.
Right. That is absolutely correct. Even in today where there's more awareness about brain injury, what we might term a concussion or a mild traumatic brain injury, still it's estimated that 50% or more go what we would say diagnosed, unrecognized, and that these patients really have no idea what's happened to them. They just know that they're not living the whole, healthy, full life that they wanted to. And I think even though there's more understanding about recognizing these types of injuries, there's still a lot of missing information and a lot of information that just hasn't been translated to healthcare professionals. And I would say that chiropractors, probably after the emergency room, we see a large number of these types of injuries. Quite frankly, whether we realize it or not, these people are coming to see us.
And I think if you start looking at your patient base, whether it's the kids who are playing sports and getting injuries, or people who are coming in from either a car accident or slip and fall, or just, fell down the stairs. I get people that slipped and fell down the stairs all the time because they're wearing socks or somebody left something on the stairs. When you have a better understanding of what to look for, it's a lot easier to spot these things.
Absolutely. And it absolutely is. And, when we start talking about how we can help these people, the first step is recognizing that this person did have this kind of injury. And I think we're going to talk about this a lot this weekend, but it's very interesting that most of the time, I think, just as, I'm a practitioner, just like you, as they say, in the trenches every day. And sometimes in the past, we'd have these people consult us, and I would send them over to some other form of healthcare provider. I'm like, gosh, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go to the, whatever, the med clinic, your family doctor. You need to have them look at this. And they would come back and they're like, well, they really didn't tell me much, and they really didn't do much. And so what I've discovered is that your average healthcare provider, get this, gets about 30 to 45 minutes of education about these types of injuries. In fact, even after trying to up the level of education for most of these other healthcare providers, they maybe get a couple of hours of education. And so our patients aren't getting the right information. They're going, it's not being identified or recognized. And then they're coming into our office and they're looking for help. And they're looking for, what do I do? And, chiropractors, we've always worked with people who've struggled in the healthcare system. And we've always, had a strength in that area to help those people. And I really can see that, this is an area we can help our patients even more with.
I think that we stand in a very unique position because a lot of sports teams use chiropractors. A lot of local high schools and the local sports teams, they're looking toward the chiropractor or the physical therapist, right? To either be part of the team, be on the sideline, or be a support person. And I get calls from the wrestling team all the time because my son is wrestling, or the football team. My son just got hurt yesterday. Can I bring him in to see you today? Having better information makes us a better doctor, and knowing more what to look for on a deeper level just makes us more able to not only see it, but to be open-minded enough to look for it, rather than just saying, oh, yep, you got bumped today, we'll fix you up tomorrow, you'll be fine the next day. Thinking about neurologically, how is this really going to affect them? We've got to adjust the subluxation. We've got to make sure that their brain and their cells can communicate, but really having better tools to detect it.
Absolutely. There's truth, a lot of truth in those statements there, Dr. Kathy. And I would also say, one of the areas when we've had an injury like that to the nervous system is it starts to delay an athlete's or anyone's reaction time. And so many times we'll see an athlete have an injury at Monday on practice, and they'll think, gosh, I kind of hurt my head, or I got hit in the head pretty hard, and I had a headache for a couple days. And then 3 days later, it's like, oh my gosh, that poor kid, he ruptured his ACL, or he tore his rotator cuff, or he sprained an ankle. That kid just can't catch a break. When we know that neurologically that these injuries slow down reaction time, increase secondary injuries, and we also know that proper care early on can avoid many, many of those scenarios.
So I can see the value in being able to share that message and communicate that with sports teams, but I can also see the value in being able to share that with non-athletes, right? With your average person who, we had a woman a couple of years ago that worked at a school, and she walked out of her classroom a little bit later than the kids had already gone. The floor had been mopped, but no sign was put up. She slipped, she fell up in the air, landed on the back of her skull. And she deteriorated so rapidly because she didn't get the right care right away. And by the time we were working on her, the deficits were obvious.
Right. And there's some pretty good numbers on that we know that if we provide the right types of care early on following these kinds of injuries, that what we call post-concussive syndrome or post-complaint symptoms these can be reduced from maybe 35% of people having post-concussive symptoms down to maybe 5%. So there's a huge window in helping these people recover and regain their health, especially if we provide care following the accident, do the right things in those first few days following the trauma.
Fantastic. I'm excited to learn from you. I'm excited to hear your presentation this weekend and really take some information back to my office and back to my community. So thank you so much for coming in and sharing this with us.
Oh, you're very welcome. And one of the goals of this type of program is to have Monday morning actionable types of information.
Right. And I trust that you will have that explicitly, because I know what you're going to be delivering, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to be able to implement new stuff in the office. So thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I look forward to seeing you then.
Yes, you too. So docs, listen, if you're going to be joining us this weekend for your convention, for your continuing ed, remember this is a renewal year, and in the state of Georgia, you are required to do 20 hours per year, not 40 hours in one shot, 20 hours per year. We've got our lineup of speakers up there. Convention starts Friday at 3 p.m. We go through Friday evening, Saturday, and then Sunday we wrap up by 1. This way you still have time to get home and spend the remainder of the weekend with the family or do whatever it is that you want to do. But just so that you know, you are permitted in the state of Georgia to do 20 hours online, 20 hours in person. It doesn't matter if you did 10 last year or 15. You can do it in any combination you want, but you have to have 20 hours in person minimum. We offer that this weekend. We also offer online this weekend. So if you wanted to do live virtual, you can do that as well. So just check out our website, georgiachiropractic.org, to get registered. If you only need a small amount of hours, you can register for that as well. So if you only need 5 or 7 or 10 hours, no problem. We've got you covered. But I also want to mention, we do have our casino night coming up this Friday night. It's during convention. That's at the Atlanta Marriott Northwest. So casino night starts at 8 o'clock Friday night. If you want to get registered for that, just let Kat know. That's going to be a fun, great time to socialize, have a good time with other people. And we will be announcing the winner of the annual Tim Langley Scholarship. So we've got some great submissions from our students. One amazing and well-deserving student will be awarded a $1,000 scholarship. So that's our convention this weekend, December 9th, 10th, and 11th. The next event we have coming up after that is our Wild Hog Supper. So if you're in Georgia, you want to get involved in politics, know that we go down to the city. We're outside the Capitol, and we have a dinner. That's Sunday night, January 8th. It is the last time you can really meet with and interact with the legislators before they go into session. So we'll be doing that. Let us know if you want to participate in that. And then mark your calendars for our next Chiro Cup, which is next year. I know it seems pretty far away, but it's going to sell out, and it's going to sell out early. So that's October 19th of 2023. Put that on your calendar. But we look forward to seeing you at convention, where we've got a lot of great speakers. We've got obviously, Dr. Scott Beavers is going to be there. His lovely wife, Dr. Mariana Bate Beavers, she's going to be there. We've got Dr. Vanessa Pizza. We've got Dr. Pat McCarver, Dr. Ashley Harper. We've got Dr. Dan Tu. I mean, the list goes on and on. Dr. Brian Moriarty. We have so many speakers with so much great information. Dr. Paul Bloomsack. I'm just like thinking them off the top of my head. So many people delivering great information to keep you keep your information relevant, to keep that's right. We've got Terry Flagger speaking. We've got Dr. Andy Krause speaking, Dr. Matt McCoy, John DeVilla speaking. We've got Aaron Rossi. So we have an incredible lineup for you, Dr. Brian Lieberman. So don't miss that. This is going to be a great event. Saturday night, we've got a philosophy panel. So I've got the pleasure of hosting that. And like I said, we've got casino night. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. Dr. Scott, anything else you want to share with us before we let you go?
No, I'm excited to see you this coming weekend at the event.
I am excited to see you and your wife as well. So for now, we're going to go ahead and sign off. We'll see everybody next weekend. Thank you, Dr. Scott, for joining us.
You're welcome.
We'll see everybody this weekend, or we'll see you right back here next Wednesday for GCC's Georgia Chiro Connection. Have a great day, everyone.